I like Desmond Ritter, the athlete. I don't like Desmond Ritter, the quarterback.
A guy that he's going to need time.
So my number 5 is actually different. I have at number 5 Desmond Ritter from Cincinnati. To me, I like Desmond Ritter, the athlete. I don't like Desmond Ritter, the quarterback. I think he has really good speed. He's a great runner. He's got really good size. I think he's like 6'3", 6'4". He definitely has some room to grow into that frame because he's not necessarily super bulky. But that happens when you get to the NFL. That's not a problem right there. So I really like his athleticism. He ran like a 4.52 40 time at the combine. And so I really like all the stuff that he has when it comes to his athleticism. The issues I have, and this is why I just don't think he's going to be a super successful NFL quarterback unless he gets in a very specific scheme where there's a lot of read option, quick stuff that's short and underneath, is the ball placement. I think that he just doesn't really throw a good football personally. I think he has some accuracy issues. I think that he's able to process things pretty quickly and make quick decisions, but that doesn't always mean that they're good decisions. And so I don't love the decision making, and I don't really love the ball placement and the accuracy. And so I just think ultimately, yes, in the modern day NFL, you do want to have athleticism and be able to run, but if you can't pair that with a solid ability to throw, I don't know how successful you're going to be. So yeah, and I don't want to, sound too harsh because hearing that back, I think that was pretty harsh saying that he can't throw. He can't throw the ball, and these are fixable things. But at least right now, those are my biggest concerns. So he's at number 5 for me. Are we doing snake drafts, or do you want me to throw it back to you?
Throw it back to me because he's my number 4, and I think it'd be interesting to keep that. And I had the same concerns, and it was really tough between him and Sam Howell. I feel like Howell's a better polished, So part of this too, and you will see it later in my ranking. It's like, what's your preference? Right. Especially with this draft, it's tough because no one really pops out, at least. And yeah, I had Ritter at 4, kind of in the same range. I say 3rd round, kind of like you mentioned, a guy that he's going to need time to sit. He's going to need you got to hope that you can fix some of his mechanics. And it's not like I know people always want to say, well, Josh Allen, but Josh Allen. He didn't need that many tweaks in his. He needed to change his decision making, but that a mental thing that's easy to coach. But yeah, you mentioned his size, and especially when I watched the Alabama game, and you mentioned his accuracy issues. I mean, part of his mechanics are off because it's such a slow release. It's even slower, I would say, than Howell's. That he's what you say he's like 6'3", right? But he was getting balls batted down a lot, especially in key passing situations. And it's just because it's easy to anticipate because of the windup that he does. So that's something, and I'm not sure if that's something that he can fix relatively quickly, but it's the NFL level, so maybe it's something that they can resolve. But yeah, you mentioned inconsistent thrower, and once again, I hate to be harsh, but we mentioned it before. I dogged on Big Ben last year, and Big Ben's a legend, but you gotta hit, especially with 10-yard within throws. Like the great quarterbacks, that's like those are like layups to them. They don't really miss those, and you have to hit those in the NFL. And yes, you can miss a 15+ throw every now and then, maybe in a tight window. But Ritter just does that too often, and it's just too inconsistent. And even at the college level, much less at the pro level, where there's gonna be tighter windows. And I'm just not confident in some terms that he can be a good pocket passer, at least coming out right now. But there is the upside, like you mentioned. Maybe he can find a Taysom Hill role. I'm not saying he is Taysom Hill, or maybe he could just be that type of player and grow into that. So yeah, he was my number 4 guy.